from my either for that.
That worked probably pretty good on that.
It does.
Has a light on it too?
Yeah, oh yeah. You just put the light on and it's wonderful. Because then I wake up and button.
Actually, my wife has one like that. Maybe it's all nice to use. I don't want to see that.
Wow.
But they are, man.
That's why it's great. But makes it feel good. Oh, yeah, you can use. These things are, wow. Oh, 1 minute, 1 minute. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, oh, so, there we go, yeah. Where did this go?
No, I didn't. Just go to that door. It's always locked.
Oh, so you got that door and you go outside. Okay. 6:30, let's start the meeting. Ready to go.
So, good evening, Joe Daniel, the Environmental Design Partnership, here on behalf of Wayne T. Beal and his application for expansion at the mill. We previously met at the April planning board meeting. Planning board asked for some additional information specifically related to the offsite water associated with the plan. As you know, we are connecting to the offsite water, running several hundred feet of water main down Route 9. We provided some preliminary details on those, showing that the line will be installed by horizontal direction drill methods. We will have 3 open areas, each about 1,000 square feet of disturbance. They will be the sending and receiving pits for the drill, as well as a dig down area where we will be installing a hydrant with an open cut on that line. It will be an 8-inch line where we're tying into a 6-inch line. We have obtained some preliminary pressure measures from the village. We should have adequate pressure to operate the system based upon the numbers we had. I'm working out with Mike Harrington at Lamont Engineering. The plan is relatively the same as we had previously proposed. We did make a couple slight modifications. One of those modifications is in this area here. We are going to keep the existing retaining wall and park on top of that wall with some dead end parking. We can obtain the same amount of parking in that area with much less site disturbance, not disturbing a beautiful retaining wall that was just recently built. So we feel like that was an appropriate change, a great modification and improvement on the plan. We did look at our limits of disturbance overall. We are still below an acre of disturbance. One thing I'd like to know, and I did have this conversation with Vermont, majority of our area that we are including in the disturbance is this existing gravel parking lot. We're only fine grading in that parking lot, so we're really not disturbing that area, even though we are including it within our disturbance area. So to say we're just below 1 acre of disturbance is a reasonable number. However, given this fact, you're actually significantly below an acre of disturbance in that area. Similar in the front parking lot, where we are going to be removing some of the asphalt and doing some minor regrading. The existing gravel that is underneath of that pavement also isn't being removed. So again, a gravel surface, the stormwater officer certainly knows that when you have gravel surface, that is considered a stabilized surface. So again, we did include all those areas, but again, I think at the total disturbance we're providing, we are conservatively high with that number, and we're still below the thresholds. We have reviewed where we are as it relates to stormwater on the site. Looking at that, we are a project that is less than 1 acre of disturbance. The town engineers agreed with us that because we are less than 1 acre of disturbance, we are not subject to a SWIP, which requires post-storm water control. We only require to provide stormwater controls during the construction of the site, which we have done. We provide an erosion control plan that indicates that. A couple other things we did look at. We're looking at the parking associated with that off-site parking lot, which Wayne is looking to close on and purchase, so it's no longer a lease. I did provide an email late this afternoon. I don't know if anyone got a chance to look at it.
Just give Peter copies.
From the town of Clifton Park. Town of Clifton Park says the gravel surface area is allowed in that zone as a grandfathered use. No changes are proposed. Town doesn't need to take any action in using that as a parking area. Now, our plans themselves, we're not accounting for those 37, 40 spaces within our parking computations. So right now, our parking ratio is 1 space for every 2.87 seats within the facility. If we do include that in our numbers, as town is okay with us doing that, town park, that brings our parking ratio down to 2.27 spaces per seat. Or sorry, 1 space for every 2.27 seats, which I think is, I think both of those numbers are in the range that you were looking for. Certainly the 2.27 is much better and meets the intent of what you're trying to accomplish. Another item we looked at was related to the sewer flows. Right now, we've identified a chart within our general narrative that identifies ordinary restaurant seats, assigns a certain flow to that. Lounge bar seat, we're assigning a certain flow to that. Banquet hall seats per seat, we design a flow to that. The question came up, well, during a nice sunny Friday afternoon, Saturday afternoon, some of this banquet facility will be used for overflow from the bar lounge area. Which the owner said, yeah, that's likely going to happen. So the question came up, well, that's going to increase your flows. And we did look at these numbers. The likeliest scenario is we have 175 seats within the banquet facility. And you got to remember, the purpose of the sewer is to identify max flow on the property. If we take the banquet facility out of service to 175 seats and convert a portion of those to overflow from the patio bar lounge on those nice Friday afternoons and Saturdays, it is completely unlikely that they are going to be able to have the staff on a normal day to man 175 banquet seats being turned into 175 bar restaurant seats. A likely scenario, I'm going to say a likely scenario, a conservative scenario is that half of the banquet facility, which again, I think that's even high, becomes overflow from the bar patio area. And I'm throwing these numbers out. This isn't something that's been submitted, but it's something that was brought up, so I didn't want to discuss it. Of the 175 seats, we take 88 of those seats, a little bit more than half, and convert that from a banquet hall flow to a lounge bar flow, which is slightly higher. The result of that change, taking half of the banquet area, converting it to the lounge, has an identical flow around the 8,000 gallons that we are proposing for the maximum flow on the site. We're never.
Can I ask you a question? Has this changed? I mean, initially with the architect, we were looking at 120, 122 seat banquet hall. And now it's 175 seat banquet hall? Are you including the room upstairs and?
Correct. We're including every seat. Banquet hall is 120. There's bar areas associated with that. There's restaurant facility upstairs. So again, our job as engineers is to calculate max daily flow from these sites. And it is our position that how we have calculated it, was provided to the town, is the maximum daily flow for this facility. Again, we're not going to have a scenario where we're gonna have overflow into the banquet hall and then keep using the banquet hall for a banquet facility. You can't have a banquet if half of your facilities being occupied by people wanting to have a beer or chicken wings on Friday or Saturday night. So that's never gonna be a scenario where they're all gonna be in operation with overflow, changing the occupancy use from a banquet to a lounge. So, again, I just wanted to address that with the board. So that is the new information. I can present everything we talked about at the last meeting, but I know that new information is what this board is looking for. We're hoping tonight with that information, the board's in a position to deem the application complete and commence with the coordinated review.
Question for you. Sure. You were saying that the banquet facilities, you're gonna use approximately to use to keep the status of how many people it could entertain equal to what the banquet would. Am I correct?
I think I
Yeah, no,
agree
I'm
with
just
that.
trying to say, if you're using 80 people extra for bar and lounge entertainment, is that something that's in stone, or is that gonna creep up to 100, 120, which now is gonna increase the entire capacity, or is that compensated for?
I think 80 is a high number. An estimate, again, this is only going to be overflow in the event you have a very busy Friday, Saturday afternoon, maybe a Thursday night. If this is used for anything beyond that, it's going to be a banquet use, which is also an entertaining use on the facility. And has
But you can't rule out that if things are really going, fatal business on chicken wing night, that's, that it could not, because it can hold 100 people, so that's.
there is no scenario in which this is going to be get the right number here, a 399 seat restaurant facility. It's impossible for the size of the kitchen and the staff that operate this facility to man a restaurant and have waitresses and staffs and cooks to be able to
Okay,
get
because
food
you're
out.
gonna be working on the original section of the
Correct,
Okay.
correct. This restaurant facility
restaurant.
is only set up for the banquet facility. It's not going to be set up for restaurant uses.
Thank you.
Joe, my understanding, the bigger concern with this pump station capacity. This is a duplex pump station, I believe.
I believe it's a quad.
Okay. And even with the 88 additional folks using the banquet hall, being overflow from the restaurant, your design flow of that station probably is such that will handle all that flow.
Correct.
Okay. So that pump station, that's the design flow. It has some additional capability that it can probably go what, 2.5 times that.
I think
Capacity.
the quad flex pump is somewhere around 10 or 11,000 gallons.
Okay.
Peak flow is what they're designed for. In a worst case scenario, to speaking to that, if everything's successful and Wayne says, I'm gonna serve 399 people every night with the restaurant bar use, the flow gets up to 9,800 gallons. That is 124 restaurant seats and 275 bar and lounge seats. So under that absolute worst case scenario, which I don't think is even possible, that pump is still handling flow from this.
That's.
Looking at your short environmental assessment form. Question 8C. Are there any pedestrian accommodations of bicycle routes available or any consent towards action? We gotta know there. What do you consider the trail?
That would be, should probably be answered yes, now that we have control of the parking lot over here, which does serve as some overflow parking. or presents a threat. So that could be answered. Yes.
And can I ask you about 12B? I was not aware of this.
But, well, they,
No, 12B.
The site is located within an archaeologically sensitive area.
It is. I didn't know that.
Portion of it,
Uh-huh.
we have sent letters to SHPO, who would also be contacted as part of your coordinated review, because we have checked that.
Mhm.
The entire area of the site that we are disturbing is already within a disturbed area of the site. 99.9% of the time that is the case, we receive a letter of no effect on archaeological resources. Again, as part of the coordinated review, they are one of the interested and involved agencies. They will be notified if they have concerns.
and what about 12A, you know, as this of, the mayor, Gary, the National Historic, Register of Historic Places, how close does that come to the property?
1,000 yards maybe?
So none of the, Hilton Page is in the historic site.
But I will identify through the last page, looks like this. This section of the report is automatically completed by the New York State DEC when you start the mapping and seeker process. They're the ones that answered the questions, no to the state eligible listed places, and then yes to the archaeologically sensitive area.
That makes sense. Oh, yeah, 14. You're saying that likely be found on the site, you say urban as opposed to suburban. I haven't seen any large buildings in the area.
This is the booming metropolis here. We can certainly make those two updates. Or get it back to the town, certainly make that a condition. The application is complete once the applicant provides the updated form, which will be certainly tomorrow.
Peter, I really didn't get a chance to look at our engineers report. Was he pretty much in agreement with everything?
Yeah.
And if at this point, if we move to have the application considered complete, that starts our time clock, and we have
This is somewhere towards the end of July.
the July.
If my calculations are correct, we're starting a 62-day clock. The 62 days ends on July 5th, which means we have only one planning board meeting scheduled between now and the end of that 62 days. Our July meeting would be scheduled for July 12th. And, well, speaking about that, we only have our June meeting, and I will, say now I will not be independent.
So I just from a procedural standpoint of time. Once this is deemed complete project, although it's unlisted, I'm assuming a coordinated review will be desired by the planning board. It would be your intent to declare itself lead agency.
Right.
Start the coordinated review process. That process is going to take 30 days from the date that your letters are issued, which I'm assuming they're not going out tomorrow. Which means we will not be able to make any decisions on this project at the June meeting. We will, because of the timing constraints, certainly extend by agreeing to extend the clock to July 12th. So that we certainly can have a meeting following the completion of the coordinated review.
Can we actually put that into a motion on this, and does that circumvent any of the secret requirement that says 62 days? Because that, you know, do we have the authority to deviate from that? I get with your consent, perhaps we do.
I've done it in every municipality when this comes up, because just by the logistics, it's not going to work. You're not gonna have a coordinated review completed by your June meeting,
So,
which means we have to go to the July. So we will allow for the extension of a week or 10 days, whatever the appropriate time period is. I think it's 5th to 12th, so a week. We'll give you till the July meeting.
so somebody want to make a motion to extend the, 62 day?
I think I'd make a motion that we consider the application complete.
Right.
Providing the applicant agrees to extension of the drop dead date, whatever it's called again, to the same time as our July meeting, July 12th.
We agree to that.
We need to vote on this motion, or?
Oh, I think we do, yeah.
Well, I can second
Who's
that.
voting? Fred, did you officially make that motion?
No, yeah,
Okay. I apologize. Could you repeat that also?
motion to accept the application for the Novus project complete, conditioned upon the applicant's agreement to extend the, what are the dates called? What's the date called? What are the drop dead date is till our July 12th.
Extend the clock,
It's understand the
the
clock.
clock to, 12 o'clock meeting.
I'll second that. Lance?
Aye.
Yes.
Yes, yes, unanimous.
Wonderful.
Great.
Then just moving on to commence with the coordinated review. I know I previously provided a list with identifying all the potential involved and interested agencies and contact information for them. I believe the village, I don't know if you work with your engineer to get a letter out to those agencies. Certainly that's something that if we need help with, we can certainly provide. any
You
additional
probably need
information.
help with that, so if any help that you should get it. With that. Yeah,
All right, so we can provide, it has to come from the village,
right,
and we can provide some typical
Okay.
language
that would be
that
great.
goes into that.
Thanks. sir.
So,
And I guess we declare ourselves tonight the lead agency.
We did. Coordinated review to include DEC, DOH, DOT, SHPO, Town of Clifton Park. Secretary of County. Let's figure that out. Yeah.
They have to be there for,
Yeah.
state road and municipal.
Right.
See, is that it? To, we don't need to do anything with the trail.
Not that I know
I think that's operated by the county.
Oh, and the county.
of. Yeah, so we will do that. Yeah, we don't-
Yeah.
I don't- I'm not-
State DOT as well.
Yeah.
You said that.
Question, any, we'd be changing the name in any way, we'd be changing the signage,
I hadn't thought about it.
and we have limitations on signage, right?
Yeah.
So, if you're thinking about that, you could consider those limitations.
I'll work that out with Peter, so
Yeah.
we haven't gotten that far.
So as of today, no.
Okay. We're good.
We're there.
We're there. Thank you.
Was there a motion? You don't declare, but your intent to declare, did you need a motion on that?
I think we,
Sure, I think we did that.
Yeah.
We did that.
Okay,
Did this.
just didn't want to miss anything.
Okay.
Awesome.
And our next meeting starts at 6.
6 o'clock, regardless of what the website says.
No matter what.
Okay.
Oh, I do appreciate it running until 6:30. I got to watch my son break his personal record in business today, so it's pretty good.
Doing what?
Business,
Oh, super. Where is this? Wow.
he's with Galax,
Yeah, super.
small school, but
Hey, that's.
he and his brother are great colors.
It's good.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Hey, Joe, I do have one more quick thing for you, just want to thank, under hydrant detail. Our fire department does use this sort of, use one half. National standard.
We will make sure it is whatever your part.
All around us, they're using this sort of connection. You know.
Okay, yeah, the stores is becoming standard. We don't have it on there, we get yelled at, but I think we're good now. Appreciate it, thanks. Mike. Have a good night.
Next.
Yeah, then it's still.
Yes. Is anybody need a copy or? The minutes from the window like that.
About 7 copies.
Of the minute?
Earlier.
Oh. I did, well, one was one was a Google Docs and the other was just to open it, see your land, I'm just trying to feel like here, so you don't have to have. Word doc, a Word doc.
We want to.
Oh,
That's what.
oh, okay.
Can we want to?
Yeah, you can.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Oh,
Make a motion to accept the minutes from the previous meeting as submitted.
I wasn't here, so we can't come.
Fred, did you have some language you wanted to change about a little more specificity?
Yeah, but
Around that.
the way I read that, the hose company, the fire hydrant, kind of implied like the hose company was going to take care of that, and we're not, we'll tell them where we want it, what the flows we like out of it. But it's not binding.
I could just take it out if it's not
Yeah.
on any, if they're not, if they have no, bearing no responsibility to it, then I can just take it out.
But we-
Yeah, it was just a small comment. I did want you all to actually revisit one section that wasn't conclusive in the meeting. And tonight sort of answered the question. There was talk of having, the mill provide a special use permit from the county park to parking. It seemed like Tom said that we didn't need to, but we were thinking maybe we needed to. I added it in, but we didn't talk about it tonight, and I could certainly take it out if it's not something we required of them. But I did put it in the minutes just to capture that, under what we required from the mill.
Is that email, the town Clifton Parks?
I have a letter from Clifton Park, saying that the tax map, that parcel is a gravel parking area existing now is acceptable to remain.
Okay, so I'll leave it in and they gave it to us. Okay.
So Clifton Park's okay with it. I was like pulling teeth getting Clifton Park to do anything.
Lance, do you want to make another motion for the minutes or?
We need to, we're not going to change anything.
Well, we're gonna, we need something around Naples company, so.
Okay. Make a motion to approve the minutes with the modification suggested by Rick Stevens.
Oh, it's in here, so yes.
I think we're doing such a good job.
Thank you.
And I'm just advise you, go bigger, I won't be, walking. So I probably won't be here, but maybe I will be on, I can be in with Zoom. Can we Zoom these? Yeah. If they, especially if you need, okay, you need it,
Make sure we have a quorum.
Yeah.
Dr. Blanchard's gonna be on, right?
yeah.
It's in part.
Well, that's what I mean. So we want to change the date for, here, I should have.
We should have talked about the date, yeah, for the next meeting.
Because June 14th.
Oh, you're right, I suppose no, because they won't be at the next meeting, will they?
Not
They have the
unless
extension.
Peter invites it. for
No,
some reason.
Yeah.
But June 14th, my role as police historian, I have agreed with Sharon to make a presentation in the auditorium. But I made the agreement a couple months ago. It never occurred to me to consider the any board might be doing that thing.
I mean, we're pretty flexible, I mean, you don't have to wait till nighttime, you can be afternoon. If everybody's that goes, Be laid up, so it doesn't make any difference to me, I'm gonna be up on the hill.
Well, the only problem I see with us doing daytime is if we do have something where the public wants.
Okay,
to be able to-
no, I'm game for, could we do a 6 o'clock on, change the date, so,
It's Flag Day, I don't know if that makes sense. It's different to anybody.
what day is the date you have right now, then? Then, 7th,
Village board meeting 7th.
the 7th, morning. And then we can change it to the 6th, the 8th,
I'm not here that week. I'm
Okay.
out of town that week. That first, that 5th through the 9th, that, whatever, yeah.
Okay, so why don't we look at the 12th through the 16th, okay?
12th is open.
Gonna say if Kim's gonna be away and I'm gonna be away and Ben's gonna be away. Can't have a meeting anyway.
I'll get on my back.
It's the 12th of Monday.
Yeah,
You look,
Probably have to talk with that. But there's nothing on the agenda. Put that already.
yeah,
So June
That's
13th
right,
or
we
June
really don't
15th,
have
that's a
anything on the
Tuesday or
agenda until,
Thursday.
yeah, right.
13th is library trustees, 15th is Wireless meeting.
15th would,
We're kind of like supposed to be.
be Burles
The
Thursday.
following week, I think we run into zoning.
The 20th is open. Tuesday, the 20th.
how about that?
So
That works. Okay.
you want to set it for the 12th and then if there's no agenda, Peter can cancel it.
We can do that and block both out, I can block out both, just. Wait, right?
Although we'll maybe some stuff coming back and we can look at it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if we postpone this to the 20th, perhaps. Some of these other agencies will get their response back.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, wait, okay. June 20th, 6 o'clock.
6 o'clock.
The
20th was 6:30. You know, I got it written down 6:30, that's why.
Peter, did you adjourn the meeting?
Meeting is adjourned.
Not yet.
Well, this is my first time to say it, back in July, why don't we cross? A very small one. for the-
June 20th.
So things go to Peter, and he sends them back to us.
Yeah, what will happen now is all the other agencies have an opportunity to provide.
But here,
information.
it's helpful
We have
that
to do
there
is we
might
have
not be a
to
correlation. but
share those
your
comments
meeting was
with
on the-
the applicant and get the result.
So they go to Peter.
Half an hour, really.
But it's happening, really.
Yeah.
Meeting adjourned.
I guess I'll have time to walk down to the baseball field after.